Punchline. I'm your comic strip critic. Quick question for you out there, loyal viewers. If you want to read your favorite newspaper comics, where do you go to do it? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, well duh, you pick up your local newspaper and you read your favorite comics. And yeah, sure, you can get a lot of comics that way. But what if your local newspaper doesn't carry the comics that you want to read? The way I want to read Baby Blues or Leo. What are you supposed to do then? Well, like most things in the 21st century, you go online. And the two biggest websites where you could read newspaper comics online are GoComics.com and DailyINK.com. Although, I suppose if you wanted to pronounce that correctly, it would be DailyINK.com. Might get kind of annoying if you do that all the time, though. So, this week on The Punchline, I'm going to be introducing you to both of these websites in the hope that you find a new comic to love and enjoy. I want to make it clear though, it's not a competition here. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just looking at them both and telling you what they're both like. It's not a competition. So, GoComics and DailyINK. First up is DailyINK. DailyINK hosts pretty much all of the comics run by King Feature Syndicate, which makes sense because the site was created by King Feature Syndicate. Some of the comics from DailyINK that I've reviewed here on the show are Baby Blues, Beetle Bailey, Zitz, and The Amazing Spider-Man. Other famous comics they host include Funky Winkerbean, Dennis the Menace, and Blondie. The site is very well designed, and I like the fact that there aren't any advertisements anywhere. Another nice thing that they do is host old vintage comics from long ago, such as all the strips from my Flash Gordon review, as well as other comics such as the Katzenjammer Kids and Judge Parker. They also run a weekly article called Ask the Archivist, a very well-researched look into the history of newspaper comics, which is well worth your time to take a quick look at each week. Each comic lets you read about the cast of characters as well as the cartoonists themselves who make it, which is a massive blessing for me. Seriously, do you have any idea just how little information there is out there for a comic strip like Todd the Dinosaur? Internet, you're the biggest source of knowledge available in the world. Give me a hand here. Each strip contains a number of sample strips, usually about 5 at random from the strip's history, to whet your appetite a little bit. If you want to look in a comics archive, there's a small subscription fee. For $2 a month, or $20 a year, you can read all of DailyINK's comics going back a full year to the day. So, just to break it down a little bit, you get a year's worth of almost 100 different strips for 5 or 6 cents a day. That's an amazingly good deal, and it's well worth every penny. DailyINK's a great site, not just for the comics that it hosts, but also the information it can provide you about the medium. Now then, what about GoComics? Well, for starters, since they host practically every other syndicate that's not King Features, they have over 240 comics, both old and new. Some of the comics I've reviewed from them include Leo, Monty, Inkpen, and Pearls Before Swine, and some of the other comics they host include Peanuts, Calvin and Hobbes, and this guy. There are a couple of advertisements on the site, but they're usually not that noticeable, and you can mute the ones that do play noise, most of the times. Here's the awesome thing about GoComics though. If they have the comic, they will take the archive back up to a decade. You know, that sounds nice, but it must cost a decent bit then, right? I swear I'm not making that up. A decade's worth of over 240 comics for free! What else can you be asking for? There is a pro version of GoComics that costs you $1 a month or $12 for a whole year, which gets rid of the advertisements and opens up even more archives to you, and also goes towards helping the cartoonists who create all of these strips. Subscribing to both of these websites for just a year will cost you only $33. 33 bucks a year, and you can custom make your own comics page with all of your favorite comics on it, delivered straight to your web browser. GoComics, DailyINK, thanks for providing us comic strip lovers with such great content all these years. You keep providing all that great content, and I, for one, will happily keep paying you guys. I'm your comic strip critic, and I read the funny pages in the hope that someday they will be. Hey out there everybody, if you like the end credits music that you're hearing right now, why not help support the band who made it? They're a local jazz group called Mince, and they're run out of a town not far from where I live. There's a link to their music down in the description below. Click it and buy their album, which comes in this awesome little floppy disk case. Help support a small town band and get some great music with it. Take care and see you next week.